This is the daily maintenance for the Oki Color Painter M-64s. So first thing in the morning, most likely the screen will be displaying the start maintenance option. If it isn't, you can press the online button and press the maintenance button to commence the maintenance, which needs to be done every day. Before you do that, you got to check the material. Make sure that it's not wavy. Due to the humidity, certain material will become very wavy. If that's the case, press the online and then the down arrow to advance the media so that it's flat. And it's not going to get a head strike that way. It depends on the material and the humidity in your area, but you make sure it's laying flat. To get back into the maintenance menu, press the maintenance button, start maintenance, and confirm OK. It'll ask for a confirmation. It'll start its first wiping operation. There's a countdown. It's preparing the caps and the heads to be cleaned. And the print head will travel down to the other end where we can get access to it. There it goes. Now we'll get a message to open the covers, clean caps, and check the wiper. To open the covers, not the side, the middle first has to be opened. And then the sides are opened and locked in the upward position. Both need to be opened, so we open right and left. So we use cap cleaning liquid and swabs. Open up your cap cleaning liquid, dip a fresh clean swab into it, soak it all the way, and when you take it out, make sure it's not dripping. So you want to clean the edge so it's not going to drip the solvent. You can press it against the side of the cap, but you want a good load to where it's full of the solvent. Starting in the back of the print head, wipe the solvent on in a forward motion and get the front head back to the front, back to the front. Wipe the solvent on there, get good coverage so that it can work on the ink. Come and get the front rail all the way around the back. There are two plastic lips. Both of them need to be have solvent wiped on them. And there's a special area. These sensors should be avoided. They're very sensitive. Don't put any solvent on there. And come around and get the solvent where there is ink, the flat surfaces and such. After the initial wiping, we're going to come back with a fresh, dry swab and gather all the solvent up off of the surfaces. You can alternate surface and clean it up to get all the drips, all the gathered solvent in between the print heads as well. All these flat surfaces and crevices. Gather up all of the solvent to dry off the surfaces. So now this is it, ladies and gentlemen. We're returning to the cap station. We're going to focus especially on the top edge of the cap and work a nice angle to hit the top edge and also the metal plate and get solvent on there. Let it work away on the dried ink. Focus your attention on the edge right where the ink is of that capping station. So we can rub back and forth or just go over it multiple times to get all the ink. Stubborn ink, just hit it again, come back again, to make sure that any ink, the colors would have the solvent on them. And then it could even sit for a moment while the solvent works on the ink to loosen it up. We also have the wiper system. There are 3. There's a sponge and 2 wipers. Put the solvent on the ink that you see. The front is a sponge, so that doesn't need to be wiped, but the case for it. The rear 2 are rubber wipers, so clean them. And the white plate underneath the chain needs to be cleaned. Get the solvent on there and let it work. Now it's time for a fresh swab to get it all up. Work the angle to wipe the cap and the plate together and get up any residue. Flip it, come to the other side, work the angle to gather up all of the ink that's dissolved and anything extra. Get the plate and the cap so they're covered. Make sure that edge is dry. Let's get the wiper assembly, or ensuring that there's not any ink that's accumulating that dries and gathers up. So wipe off the solvent on the wipers, and the plate underneath needs to be tended to. You can move the chain up to get underneath it and clean that. If your swab's getting full and you're not picking up, get a new one. Start over. So wiper assembly should be white without any of the dissolved ink. And get underneath the chain. When we've completed cleaning the print heads, cap, and wiper, close the covers. So we have to close the sides first, either one the right or left, and then close the middle. When the covers are closed, come back to the panel and it will ask for confirmation that the cleaning is complete. Press OK. Ask to start print head recovery automatically. Confirm by pressing OK. It will start its print head recovery when we confirm that the bottle is empty. This will then commence the second wiping operation. So first the print head will move back to the capping station and will automatically do its self cleaning or print head recovery. And that takes about 10 minutes. And when that's finished, it will ask to perform a nozzle print. Press nozzle print twice, confirm the nozzle print, and it will execute it. When the nozzle print is executing, it advances a little bit of media out, and all 7 print heads fire a pattern of the ink, just lines, to make sure they're all firing properly. You can advance the media a little bit and lift up the cover to check the patterns, make sure all the lines are in there. If there are any blank spaces, make sure that those are mapped so we're getting full coverage and everything that needs to be printed is being printed. We cue to close the cover and then ready to go.